Hello students, this is Dr. P.S. Kautikwa, and in this video we'll be discussing on overview of quality based design, which is abbreviated as QBD. So in the drug development, generally the aim is to get the safety, quality and efficacy. We have to ensure that the new drug which should assure us the safety, at the same time the quality and efficacy, and the stability is also an important factor. But these 3 points are very important so far as the uh, drug development is concerned. But there are problems with the pharmaceutical industries. If the drug development is not carried out systematically, or if there is some kind of carelessness, so the chances for the drug recalls will increase. Moreover, there will be a cost get incurred regarding the failure of the batches. Moreover, the scale up and regulatory burden will be there. If that drug development or formulation development process doesn't go well, so the scale up problems will be there, and at the same time, since the process will take a long time, and therefore the cost of that entire project will hike, and thus there would be a great regulatory burden over that entire process. Generally, the traditional way for ensuring the quality of product is that is the end product testing. This is the traditional method that uh, previously it was generally the practice to have the check of quality only at the end of the process, that is by testing the product only, so that entire process will get complete and the product will get formed, and afterwards the product will be checked for the requisite quality. And what about if that product fails to show the required quality? That means we'll have to throw the entire batch, so that will lead to the huge losses. So this traditional way of ensuring the quality of the product by the end product testing, which actually narrows the understanding of the process, that is the critical process parameters. If that entire process is not controlled well in order to get the product with the desired quality features, so we can say that the understanding was not proper, or rather it is a narrow understanding for the process. That entire process must be thoroughly studied in terms of the several critical process parameters. Actually, the process must be studied in detail, and several critical features or critical parameters must be identified. So by controlling all those parameters, then we can say that that given process is quite well understood and quite well perfected. Thus it will be under control of the manufacturer. There are factors interlinked with each other. During the process of manufacturing, we come across with several such factors, but they are not actually taking place independently. They may be interlinked with each other. So this makes that entire process too much complicated. This is the reason why the regulatory bodies are now focusing on implementation of QBD to reduce process variations and improvement of the process. So if that process is not properly controlled, and each time the process will be run will find number of variations in the process. So that will lead to the variations in the quality of the final product also. And therefore, the regulatory bodies now have imposed the implementation of the QBD, that means the quality by design. Thus, here the quality by design provides systematic and modern approach, ensuring consistent product quality over the time. So when we adopt the quality by design method or approach, that is the systematic and modern approach of ensuring the consistent product quality over the time. Batches after batches, when we are manufacturing the product and we are getting the product, so we are confident that each time we'll be getting the product with all the desired features, since that entire process is under control and it is therefore consistently carried out as to get the product with the same quality features as it was previously done. So that sort of confidence actually we can develop with the help of application of the QBD principles. So this kind of modern and systematic approach, it has become now compulsory, or it has been made mandatory by the regulatory bodies for any manufacturing unit. As per the ICH Q8, first time its inclusion has been done systematically in the ICH guidelines under the Q8 clause. And according to this, the definition of the QBD, quality by design, is that it is a systematic approach to development that begins with predefined objectives and emphasizes product and process understanding and process control based on sound, sincere and quality risk management. So this is how the definition goes. We can see this definition, we can understand this definition. It is the systematic approach to the development that begins with the predefined objectives. So whatever predefined objectives we have, so we try to implement all those or we'll try to achieve all those objectives, and thus that approach actually emphasizes the product and process understanding, and thus the process will be controlled. And how we can control that process? Based on the sound science and quality risk management. So here the quality risk management and the science principles, by applying of which actually we are able to have the control over that process. If the process of manufacturing is going on, so we must have some sort of provisions so as to control that entire process. So as I told you, the critical areas in the process or the critical parameters of the process actually we have to identify, and accordingly those parameters must be set, and each time then we'll try to achieve the same values for those parameters as the process is being run, and therefore we get ensured that each time we'll be having the same process being run, and thus we can expect the same end product with the all desired quality features. So this is how the QBD helps us for getting the product with the desired quality features consistently over the period of time, over the time period. Now this term quality by design, it was first introduced by Joseph M. Juran in 1985 in his publication named Juran on Quality by Design. Now there are two meanings of the quality. So as the quality is concerned, there could be two meanings. Number one, the presence of features to create customer satisfaction. Now, it is very difficult to define exactly what the quality is meant. But according to Juran's publication, actually the quality has been defined in two ways. First way, that is the presence of features to create customer satisfaction. We have to have the features in the final product which will bring us the customer satisfaction. And another meaning of the quality, that is the reliability of those features. Whatever features we have gained in the final product, so now the reliability is also equally important. So these are the two meanings for quality. Then he proposed Juran's trilogy, in which he described three quality pillars. So now we are discussing with regard to the quality. So according to Juran's trilogy has been given in the form of three quality features. The first quality feature is planning, second quality feature is control, and third quality feature is improvement. For any manufacturing process, when we have to fix the manufacturing process, we have to set the manufacturing process in such a manner that each time it will go consistently without any kind of change. And for that purpose, the planning is a must. So in the beginning of that process, we have to make the total planning. Then, as I told you, that entire process must be well understood, and accordingly various quality parameters must be checked, right? Various controlling parameters rather must be checked, so that that entire process will be under control of the manufacturer. Any deviation to the any of these parameters, that will bring about the changes which are not desirable. So we'll try to have all those parameters to be with the same and consistent values while running that process, and this way we can have the strict control over the process. Traditionally, whatever we used to manufacture, so that would go just on its way, on its own. There was not there was no specific control, and therefore finally whatever product we will be getting, so we had to expect that those quality features must be there in the product, and if we do not find those quality features, then we have to simply reject that product. Once we have decided to reject the product, that means that entire batch will be failed, isn't it? So so much huge losses we cannot bear being the manufacturer, and therefore it is very important to adopt the quality by design approach. And this is how Juran's trilogy tells us that quality, which is standing on the three pillars, that is the planning, control, and improvement. So first step by the US FDA, it was in 2002, when the QBD concept was integrated, right, with the CGMP guidelines. US FDA first time integrated the QBD concept with the current good manufacturing practices or practice guidelines. The current good manufacturing practice guidelines were already there, but in 2002 US FDA has taken the decision to have that QBD concept to be integrated with the currently available CGMP guidelines. Publication was there issued which had issued the report on pharmaceutical CGMPs for the 21st century, a risk-based approach. And in this publication, actually, we found the reference of the quality by design, that is the QBD. Then the aim was to improvement of the product quality by modernization and control of pharmaceutical manufacturing. Now, uh, the aim behind implementing the quality by design initially was to uh, have the improvement of the product quality, right? And how that improvement of the product quality has been uh, approached by modernization and control of the pharmaceutical manufacturing, right? So here that manufacturing process, uh, uh, actually it was thought about modernizing, and thus it's that entire process was thought about controlling, isn't it? By having such a modernization and controlling that process, we can get the product with the improved quality. This is how we have seen towards the quality by design initially. So this was the quality by design at that time was not mandatory as such, but it was just the approach which was challenged by the US FDA to the manufacturer. If they want to improve the quality of their product, so they can go for this kind of approach, that is the modernization and control of the pharmaceutical manufacturing approach. So that time it was named like this. The other regulations also joined, like the International Council for Harmonization, that is ICH, then European Medicine Agency, that is EMA, as well as the major pharmaceutical companies. So when this kind of publication was there, when this kind of say objective which was defined by the US FDA in 2002, then the other regulators also joined. For example, the ICH, that is the International Council for Harmonization, then European Medicines Agency, that is the regulatory body of the European unions, and also some major pharmaceutical companies. They also they entered this area for having this approach to get used for the improvement of quality of their products. Now, the credit actually of the introduction of the term QBD, initially that this term was not coined, but first time the credit goes to the ICH for introduction of the term QBD to the potential industry. In actually section ICH Q8 R2. So they have first time laid down the guidelines in 2009 in the name of ICH Q8 R2 as the pharmaceutical development, right? Later on there are various chapters in the ICH guidelines. So ICH Q8, ICH Q9, ICH Q10, ICH Q11. So Q8 means the pharmaceutical development, Q9 that is the quality risk management, Q10 that is the pharmaceutical quality system, Q11 development and manufacture of drug substances, chemical entities and biotechnological or biological entities. So this is how these first four important chapters, even the ICH Q12 technical and regulatory considerations for pharmaceutical product life cycle management. So these four to five chapters which showed the guidelines with regard to the various aspects for the improvisation of the manufacturing process, and by implementing those things according to Q8 to Q12, actually it was quite effective to have the improved quality of the product. Moreover, the consistency of the product quality was equally important. So instead of improving the quality, but the consistency, once the quality has been achieved, so it was compulsory then, it was necessary then to maintain the same quality in the subsequent batches. Well, under ICH Q13 and Q14, they are still under consideration. They have not been implemented effectively. But the first five ICH clause, they are made compulsory or mandatory for the manufacturing companies. So these are the examples of the products that were first time approved under the QBD concept, or by applying the QBD concept, these products were granted the approval. The Januvia, this is the first drug. It is a trade name and drug product. It is a trade name, and the drug name is the sitagliptin. Manufacturer is the Merck, and it was used for the treatment of diabetes. And in 2006, this particular product was developed and was granted the approval with the implementation of quality by design concept. Another example we have, that is the Gaziva. The drug name is obinutuzumab, and the manufacturer is the Genentech, that is the Roche, and it is used in the treatment of cancer, and it was granted the approval under the QBD concept in 2013. Then this is a research paper for the example we have shown here, just to indicate how the QBD concept or QBD approach is more advantageous. Here in this paper, the study comparative study has been shown for the traditional and QBD approaches, right, on the two products, that is the Tradium and Cubidium. Now the Tradium was manufactured with the traditional approach, whereas Cubidium was manufactured with the QBD approach. So Tradium and Cubidium, they were the names given to the product. Tradium, the trading, tradi, that indicates the traditional approach, whereas the Cubidium, where the QBID is the prefix in the word that shows the QBD approach. So we have the two products with the same kind of contents. The formulation method is also similar for both of them, but both of them were gone through the different approaches. The first one, that is the Tradium, was gone through the traditional approach of the manufacturing or of the manufacturing development, whereas the Cubidium was gone through the QBD approach of controlling the manufacturing or developing the manufacturing process. And this process could show effectively that how the QBD approach was beneficial and useful so far as the consistent quality of the product to be there as compared to the traditional approach. With the traditional approach, although we got the product, but each time we did not get the similar product with the similar qualities. Rather, with the QBD approach, whatever product we got, that was having the consistent quality features for every batch, right? So now they were in the same capsule dosage form and had the same manufacturing process, but QBD was implemented only in the Cubidium, as I told you. Then the Tradium studies began with making a general product description and poorly defined manufacturing process. So in case of the Tradium studies, where the studies were began with the poorly defined manufacturing process. So in case of the traditional approach, where the manufacturing process was poorly defined, it missed the critical factors in the manufacturing process. Actually, since it is a traditional process, the critical factors or critical parameters were not taken into consideration. Moreover, reflection came as extended regulatory review time. So because of this, what happened? The regulatory review time was extended. See, we can see that the traditional approach of controlling the manufacturing process is quite easy and is cheaper. But what about the extended regulatory review time? So in order to get the approval from the regulatory body, actually that process becomes lengthier because actually while studying the manufacturing process, the critical factors were not considered, and therefore we had the poor controls on the manufacturing process. and that reflected into the extended regulatory review time. Therefore, it was delayed. The granting of the approval from the regulatory body was delayed significantly, and that will definitely build up the cost of manufacturing or cost on the product. See, when we are setting the manufacturing process, so every action that is being carried out in the manufacturing process, that will add into the cost of the product. So if that product is getting extended for unreasonable points, then we cannot justify whatever cost has got raised, right, because of that misapproach. That is the traditional way approach. On the other hand, or in contrast to this, for the QBDM, QBD principles were properly implemented, right? In case of the QBDM, the QBD principles were properly implemented. Then the risk assessment studies were performed properly. Here, whatever risk which were identified as the critical features of the process, they were perfectly identified. They were properly identified. Then use of softwares was made to understand the critical factors, right? So this is very important. If we want to have the control over that entire process, we must understand all the critical factors associated with that process, and that can be done with the help of the softwares. And thus we got that QBDM was granted the approval very earlier than the TDM. Now we can see this point now. The time spent in the early development of QBDM seems longer, but gained knowledge faster and more robust process. So since we have applied the QBD principles, right, while studying the QBDM manufacturing process, we find that the time spent in the early development of the QBDM it seems longer, but because of this, actually we could gain the knowledge faster, and thus we have succeeded to get the more robust process. So once we have got the success to get the process with the more robustness, that means we get ensure that each time we'll be getting the product with the consistent quality and also the desired quality features. Now this is the list of all the benefits associated with the quality based design approach. We can discuss them one by one. So minimizing batch failures. So this is quite obvious. If we have the total control over the manufacturing process, and if we get ensured that each time we'll be getting the product as per the desired features or with the consistent quality, that means the chances for failure of the batch will get almost minimized, right? And this is a very, very huge benefit we can judge now as compared to the traditional approach. By having the traditional approach of the manufacturing, if the chances for the failures are more, that means that cannot be justified at all. Then second benefit is avoiding quality variations and minimizes costly investigations. Now here, if we have the total control over the manufacturing process, therefore the variations in the quality are not occurring, and thus that will minimize the costly investigation. In case of variations, see, if we do not have this kind of approach, and if we have got the product with the variations, right, or as not as per the mark, then we have to check the process entirely to identify where the variations were taken place, and this kind of investigations could become costly, right, and time consuming. Then minimize regulatory issues related to the quality of product. See, the regulatory process is a very stringent process. It will take into account the entire manufacturing process right from the beginning of the process, that means the raw material, receiving of the raw material by the company. So right from that stage up to the finished product, end product, so that entire process where the regulatory body has the critical check. And if we adopt the quality by design approach, definitely the regulatory issues will be relatively less. They will not be able to question for any kind of step which is being carried out for the manufacturing. So all the steps in the manufacturing will be going on smoothly and consistently, because we have adopted the quality by design approach here. Then more capable technical staff. This is quite obvious that technical staff associated with that process will be more capable, because they are able to understand the process well because of the QBD approach. More flexible and efficient system. Since the process is under control, so that can be more flexible and efficient system, because we know that we know several critical features of that process, and if we want any kind of improvement in the final product quality, then we can make the slight changes in the quality in that features of the manufacturing process, those critical features that we are identified. And by making the slight changes in favor of the improvement in the quality of the final product, so that makes sure that we can get easy improvement in the final product just by making the slight changes in some of the critical features of the process. And therefore we can say that it is more flexible and efficient system. Then improvement in manufacturing efficiency. This is quite obvious that will be improving the efficiency of the manufacturing because of the QBD approach. Reduction of cost and waste due to rejections. See, rejections which are very dangerous, as that will increase the cost of the product, and also that will lead to the waste creation. So it is very important that with the QBD approach we are able to reduce the cost of the product, as well as we can reduce the waste also, right? Then product manufacturing based on scientific knowledge. Here the manufacturing is entirely based upon the scientific knowledge. So we are applying the principles of science. Actually we are not applying any kind of subjective decision. We are not using the subjective decisions or the psychological decisions, but rather the scientific knowledge is applied over that, and accordingly the decisions are being taken for the process, and therefore the product manufacturing can be said as based on the scientific knowledge. Then better communication between industry and regulators in quality related issues. Wherever there will be the issues related to the quality, so with the help of the QBD approach we can have the better communication between the industry and regulators, because we have that entire process studied thoroughly, and with all the critical features for controlling that process which are actually highlighted, and accordingly we can communicate in a better manner with the regulatory body, being the manufacturer. So this QBD approach will help us make the process of getting approval with ease, right? Then incorporation of risk management. We can incorporate the risk management issue or risk management approach. Now we can club the risk management approach with that of the QBD approach. So this is how the incorporation of the risk management, because with the risk management actually we are able to have the check on the quality features of the product. We can identify certain areas, certain features, critical parameters of the process which can have the potential for the risk, and accordingly the risk management can be done. So by having this kind of risk management approach clubbed with the QBD approach, definitely will be getting easily and safely the product with all the quality features, and that too also consistently and continuously. Then reduction of repeated laboratory testing of the finished product. So when we have that entire process under control, that is going on as it was intended to go, and that sort of confidence has been there while running the process. Therefore the final product need not be tested repeatedly, right? Then accreditation, acceleration of the decision of batch release. And because of this, we do not have to wait longer for allowing the release of the batch from the company, because with the single testing only we can make sure that the product has gained the product is there with all the desired quality features, and now it is ready for release from the company for marketing purpose. So this is how we have number of benefits with the QBD approach, and therefore it has become now mandatory to have the QBD approach for development of formulation, product formulation, right? So this is actually the basis of the quality by design approach, isn't it? So let us stop here. Thank you very much.